Adam Schiff, he's looking for his encore. Adam Schiff, remember the star of the Schiff show during the whole Russia thing? He was like a dog with a bone. Incidentally, was a client of Judge Merchan's daughter. She's got a social media company that raises money off of these lawsuits. A little bit of a conflict, just saying, just a teeny tiny little bit of a conflict. Anyway, Adam Schiff's out tweeting again. He's tweeting in response. Let me first read you what Donald Trump is saying about Steve Bannon, who's on his way to jail, ladies and gentlemen. Steve Bannon, who refused to comply. He's citing executive privilege, said, I'm not going to comply with Congress's order, this subpoena for me to testify. Now, again, he's citing executive privilege and that he didn't need to do this because these were sensitive to blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he's going to jail. That's happening July 1st. So the countdown is on. He's being pretty stoic about it, saying, you know what, I got the best lawyers. We're going to take this all the way to the Supreme Court. But let me just point out, Lois Lerner, she was subpoenaed, was supposed to show up to testify before Congress. Remember her, head of the IRS? Didn't do it. And the DOJ, Obama's DOJ, forgave her. Same thing with Eric Holder. So Lois Lerner was because of alleged targeting of Tea Party activists by the IRS. And then there was the Fast and Furious thing with Eric Holder. And Eric Holder also refused to testify and got off the hook by his own DOJ. My gosh. Anyway, Donald Trump writing, it is a total and complete American tragedy that the crooked Joe Biden Department of Injustice is so desperate to jail Steve Bannon and every other Republican, for that matter, for not submitting to the unselect committee of political thugs made up of all Democrats and two crazed former Republican lunatics, crying Adam Kinzinger and Liz out of her mind Cheney. I mean, he's being Trump, right? And so this is very colorful language. He goes on and on and on. He's saying they did absolutely nothing wrong. And basically, you ought to indict the unselect, get it? Instead of select, J6 committee for illegally deleting and destroying all of their findings. That's been a big concern, right? Because not everything has come forward. And he's not wrong on that. A lot of the evidence was actually destroyed. And so some of it has come out piecemeal since then. Well, the star of the Schiff show making a comeback on Twitter, responding to this. Now, I find this very interesting because to me, this is like pot calling kettle here. Adam Schiff writes, seeking to prosecute those who uphold the rule of law is just what a dictator would do on day one and every day thereafter. Hang on. Seeking to prosecute those who uphold the rule of law is just what a dictator would do on day one and every day thereafter. Excuse me. What do you think is going down right now, ladies and gentlemen? What do you think the Biden DOJ is doing at this moment in time, other than going after anybody who had anything to do with Donald Trump, other than going after Donald Trump with 91 counts, including 4 criminal? I mean, Adam Schiff, you said it yourself. What would a dictator do? A dictator would do exactly what we're seeing happen in real time. I mean, it's weird. They're talking about gaslighting you. They're trying to say, no, nothing to see here. We're doing this because we can do this. Concerning, just a little. And of course, they want to throw everyone in jail, including the former president. Here's Mr. Schiff talking about just exactly that on TV.
Do you think it would be dangerous for the country if Donald Trump were sentenced to jail?
No, I don't think it'll be dangerous for the country. And we have seen Trump urge mass protests outside the courthouse that never materialized. But nevertheless, this is, I think, what Donald Trump is aiming for. This is essentially his threat that if he gets jail time, that he's going to encourage his supporters to rise up. And we saw the very, deadly results of that on January 6th.
So they go back to that over and over and over again, and you can anticipate that that's going to continue to happen, right? Because don't vote for Trump or the whole world is going to fall apart. You heard him. But just in case you didn't, they'll say it again and again and again and again and again. And everyday voters, who the polls show still, and increasingly so, are in favor of Donald Trump, they're not buying it. They're not buying. In fact, they're not buying it so much that he's even losing Biden now a lot of his key demographic that he used to be able to count on. And that's the African-American population, specifically the young African-American population.